looking at time signatures. Time signatures are very important. They help us identify how to perform the rhythm and how to count within the measures. Now, it doesn't tell us how many measures there are in music. Okay, so I'm going to let you know that right now, because you might think it does, but it doesn't. Okay, so looking at page 5 in your book, you'll notice that it says the time signature. What is the definition of that? The top number tells us how many beats per measure there are, and the bottom number tells us what type of note gets one beat, or what type of breve or semi-breve gets one beat. Okay, now if you look at the examples it has there, we're going to start with 4/4 time, a number 4 above and a number 4 below. That means there are 4 beats per measure, and then the 4 below says that the quarter note gets the beat. Now, if you know how quarter is spelled with numbers, right? If you take out the 4 and make it like a fraction, it makes a 1/4 or a quarter. So the quarter note symbol gets one beat. Now, there's also other time signatures that have the quarter note that also gets one beat. You can change the top number how many numbers you want, just no other fractions. You got to think about that, only whole numbers. So you'll see that 3/4 time is also a time signature. How many beats per measure are in 3/4 time? 3 beats per measure. How many measures are in a piece of music of 3/4 time? It doesn't matter. We don't know, because the time signature does not tell us how many measures there are in music. Okay. Now, the quarter note gets one beat for 3/4 time. We know that. Let's all take a look at 1.6 amazing. So amazing already gives us a time signature. What time signature does it show? It shows 4/4 time. You also notice the order that you have there. You have your clef first, then a little space, and then you have your time signature. Okay. Now, there's no bar line there. We just know that the music starts right after the time signature, so we don't need a bar line there. But you do have other bar lines to separate the rest of the measures. Now, in 4/4 time, how many beats per measure do you have? 4. Okay. Now, in this particular case, how many measures are in this piece of music? There are 4. That's just coincidental. All right. We also know that it's only 4 measures of music, and I want you to remember this for the next lesson, because you have a final bar line at the end of that first line of music. Okay? So what pitch now are we playing? Let's go over that. Find your pitch, and you'll notice that there's an A written on just the very first quarter note. Now, I'll give you a hint. All the notes are A. Now, it's your open string A. Based on what instrument you're playing and what clef you're reading, your A is going to be different than your friend that plays a different instrument. Okay? Bass, your open A string, is actually going to be on the first space. Okay? Is your open A string higher in pitch or lower in pitch than your D string? Yours just happens to be lower in pitch. So yeah, your A string is lower in pitch by a fourth on your D string than your D string. Before we start playing, let's go ahead and make sure we know how to play it rhythmically. Let's do the count first. Now, we're in 4/4 time. We're going to set my metronome back to 60 beats per minute. I'm going to hit start. I'll give you a count off for one full measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I want you just to count out loud the number of the beat, the beat number on that note, and remain silent on the rest. Let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3. Very good. Let's try now to say the note name and make sure to be quiet on the rest. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. A, 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 A. And there you have it. Let's try playing it. 1, 2, 3, 4.